and may be hard for some viewers to watch.
What's good, everyone? This is your main correspondent, Alan Taylor, and I'm back in the broadcast room. And this is where we at here. Clearly, you can see the title of the broadcast. And I titled it this way because I'm asking the question out here. Because apparently here, two Chinese nationalists, aka, scientists and things like that, were caught sneaking pathogens into America. Now, these what's going on here, from my understanding, is that these things that they got caught smuggling in were able to, pretty much destroy our crops, our food supply, and also would cause hurt, harm, and danger to, us as humans, pretty much in America here. This is crazy. This is wild. I asked the question. Get down in the comments. Let me know what you guys think. We're going to go here now because guess what? Quarters, nickels, and dimes, people.
I'm going to turn now to the case of two Chinese researchers charged with smuggling what's considered to be a potential weapon for agroterrorism into the U.S. and that prosecutors say could target the nation's food supply. Our Chief Justice correspondent, Pierre Thomas, has this story for us. Good morning, Pierre.
Michael, good morning. We're talking about a fungus which DOJ is calling a potential bioterror threat. Take a look at it under the microscope. This is Fusarium graminearum, and it causes billions of dollars in crop damage each year. A pathogen that rots wheat, barley, and rice, and if consumed by humans can cause vomiting, liver damage, and birth defects. This morning, two researchers from China are accused of trying to smuggle it into the U.S. to take it to a lab at the University of Michigan. Authorities claim that in July of last year, they allegedly caught a scientist from China with the fungus hidden in a wad of tissues in his backpack at the Detroit airport. Authorities say the scientist initially lied, claiming he was coming to America to visit his girlfriend and that he had no idea how the material got into his luggage. But later he alleged
lies.
So what the French coast is there to think about?
How do you not know, especially as a scientist, how do you not know, things that are not in your bag? If I go down to Mexico and I happen to have a few, there was a situation that happened a little while back. I don't know if you guys remember and things like that. It was a guy, it was a guy went down, I think it was Mexico, something like that, or, out of the country. But he, it was one of those places out of the United States, but he accidentally had some ammunition in his bag and they kept his ass locked up. They charged him with that out of the country. Like, you can't bring illegal things in other places. And this is definitely something that's illegal that you can't bring over here. Pathogens that are willing to destroy our crops definitely make us as Americans sick. We're already sick enough with all this crazy ass food we're eating all the time, And it just is what it is. This is wild, people.
Eventually admitted he smuggled the fungus into the U.S. to conduct research on it with his girlfriend, who was a visiting fellow at the University of Michigan, Michael.
Well, Pierre, has the University of Michigan responded to any of this?
Well, they're telling us that they're cooperating with the investigation and they condemned any activity that could harm the public or damage national security, Michael.
All right, Pierre.
Right. And I mean, they should. This is crazy right here that this is going on. How do these people think that they're going to, in my thought process too, if this the case here, how much other stuff have they already smuggled in?
So what the French coast is there to think about?
What else have they already smuggled in? This quote unquote, Chinese scientist couple out here. This is wild. You got to wake up out there, people. This is crazy right here that this is going on. And, we're just sitting around here being boo-boo the fool and also being distracted by a lot of other things that are going on. I mean, and I get it, in society, it's a lot going on. It's a lot going on in America right now. It's a lot. But Jesus Christ, man, to sneak this in, to be able to have this pathogen that's going to destroy our crops and things like that we eat and, we digest in our body, man, come on, man. If I don't know if this is a declaration of war, I don't know what is out here. I don't know what is, but this is just my opinion. I don't have any facts upon this. I don't have any actual tangible evidence or anything like that. This is just my opinion on this situation. So we're going to go to Fox here and see what they have to say about the situation.
That our food supply is being targeted by the Chinese Communist Party, as 2 Chinese nationals have been charged with smuggling a potential agro-terrorism weapon into the U.S.
This is really insane. Lucas Thomason joins us live in Washington with the details. Good morning, Lucas.
Good morning, guys. A Chinese researcher at the University of Michigan and her boyfriend have been accused of smuggling a biological pathogen into the United States that can cause devastating diseases in crops. FBI Director Kash Patel says, quote, "This case is a sobering reminder that the Chinese Communist Party continues to deploy operatives and researchers to infiltrate our institutions and target our food supply, an act that could cripple our economy and endanger American lives. I commend the FBI Detroit Division and our partners at CBP for stopping this biological threat before it could do real damage." Here's a photo of that fungus that was discovered at the Detroit airport in July. The small clumps of red plant material were discovered in these 4 plastic baggies tucked into a wad of tissues. According to court documents, the 34-year-old Chinese boyfriend intentionally hid the samples in his backpack because he knew there were restrictions on importing them. He had hoped to continue his research at the University of Michigan lab. In a statement, the school says, quote, "It is important to note that the university has received no funding from the Chinese government in relation to research conducted by the accused individuals. We have and will continue to cooperate with federal law enforcement in its ongoing investigation and prosecution."
Now, my question here is, at this point, why are you trying to smuggle stuff in? You know you're doing wrong out here. You know you are doing wrong when you're trying to sneak stuff into someplace. It's just like with back in the day when I was going clubbing and stuff like that. You try to sneak your weapons in the club, or you try to sneak stuff into your parents' house out here. You know you wrong. You know you wrong. What are you trying to sneak this stuff in for? What is your purpose? What is your intentions? It ain't good. I guarantee you that. Man, wow, bro.
And in Arizona, the state's Democratic governor is under fire for vetoing legislation that would have barred the Chinese government from owning land in the state. Arizona is home to a number of military bases, including Luke Air Force Base, home to fighter squadrons, including the primary training center for the F-35 stealth fighter jet. The Republican Senate Majority Leader in Arizona said, quote, "It is utterly insane that Arizona's top elected official would rather be an obstructionist against safeguarding our citizens from threats than sign legislation giving our state a fighting chance at proactively preventing attacks. Hobbs is a total disgrace."
Man, what I used to say this definitely when we had this when we was going through the election stuff, like the enemy within. And most of these motherfuckers are our elected officials and things like that. This is crazy out here. This is sad.
And what the French toast is there to think about?
The enemy within. How are you going to go against, legislation to stop situations like this from happening to your own American citizens? Man, Jesus Christ, man. The money is serious out here. The greed is serious.
As we just saw in Russia, after Ukraine unleashed those drones against Russian air bases, destroying expensive bombers, military experts have long warned of China being able to do the same thing right here in the U.S., guys.
Hey, Lucas, do you know if President Trump has addressed this in executive orders with the Chinese building, buying land near military bases? Couldn't that be handled from Washington and just deny it?
Brian, there's talk that that's going to come in. And speaking to your last segment, there was also concern for years, of course, about Chinese nationals crossing the southern border in Arizona, and, of course, Southern California, home to U.S. military bases. So a big issue.
Lucas, you said it that they found it in July. Why are we just hearing about this?
It was just unsealed yesterday, Ainsley. That's how everybody knew.
Is it a reason why, Lucas, and you may not know this, so forgive me, is it a reason why this was sealed? Was it ruled under national security is why they sealed this? I mean, that's not typical for them to seal something of this magnitude as a threat.
Right. Lawrence, typically they're still investigating, so they're probably just following all the leads.
Roger that.
All right. Thank you, Lucas. They said it's a threat to national security, a violation of the law. And Kash Patel, who's head of the FBI, said the case. No, what's Kash Patel's FBI director. Case is sobering reminder that the Chinese Communist Party continues to deploy operatives and researchers to infiltrate our institutions and target our food supply, an act that could cripple our economy and endanger American lives. They say it's a fungus, and they say that it's a fungus that causes head blight, a disease of wheat, barley, maize, and rice, and is responsible for billions of dollars in economic losses worldwide each year.
You mean a bioweapon from the Chinese? Have they ever done anything like that before?
Takes us back to COVID, right?
Stop it.
So what the French toast is there to think about?
She said it, I didn't. She said it, I didn't. Hey. Oh, man. America is under attack within and outside. This is wild right here. This is wild, man. This is wild.
It just also plays into why we can't have 150,000 Chinese students studying here, a lot of which were party kids from party members. And if you come over and if you think, well, these are good kids, they're 18 years old, what harm are they? As long as their families are back home, they're under obligation to spy for their country. And yet we're training our enemy.
It's a naive view to not believe that they would cause us harm. And I also answer to your point about the FBI director. He did that interview last week with Brett Baer, and he said, what is the one thing that keeps you up at night? He said the Chinese. Mm-hmm. He was probably talking about things just like this that we just learned.
I'm Steve. Listen, look, man, this is crazy out here. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Man, yes, I did ask the question. It is what it is. Get down in the comments and let me know what you guys think out there, because this is very serious. This would have affected our crops, what we eat over here unknowingly. And like I said before, what else have they already snuck in? Listen, look, they got caught with this. The Chinese lady, she already been over here. He came over here from China stuff. What else have they already snuck in? What else do we need to look for? What else do the investigators need to actually try to find out what these individuals have been up to? And this is a whole couple. Allegedly, this is a couple right here that, are, man, Jesus, bro. And this is what we have right here. We're under attack, and everything, is being swept under the rug. And, we're under attack from, the immigration situation. We're under attack, China trying to sneak things in. And this is just the truth here. Look at this. Look at this. And this is just my opinion, things like that. Don't try to, sue me or whatever the fuck, you know what I'm saying? I ain't got no money to give you out here. But I'm just saying, though, this is the truth, though. This is crazy right here. The one thing that needs to be known, and the one way that you could really, truly break a nation down and cripple it very hard is through its food supply. I don't care. And that goes throughout history. If you corrupt the food supply of a nation, it's automatically gone. It's automatically eliminated, because people cannot survive without the proper substance, food. No humans on this planet can. Food and water are the major entities that we as humans need. Food and water, and we cannot survive. You can't live without food and water at all. Man, this is crazy right here. We got to keep our eyes open out here, through all the treachery and debauchery that's going on in this country and things like that, and the distractions that are happening, man. Listen, look, y'all stay safe out there. Keep your mind and your eyes open for all this craziness, but it is what it is, though. Shout out to all my subscribers. Mad love to y'all. If you're new to the channel, please hit that like, share, subscribe button. Make sure you ring that bell to be notified whenever I decide to post things. And like I always say,
and that, my friends, is the bottom line.
That, my friends, is the bottom line.